So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really glad to be here with many luxury academics and experts. My name is Houssam Jedidi from the Gutenberg University of Mainz, and I'm going to talk about the evolution of luxury consumers' preferences for ecological luxury goods. So, actually, behind this paper, somehow a funny story. As I started my PhD program, I was somehow under pressure, and direct pressure coming from the supervisor who was waiting for output, but also pressure coming from other PhD candidates who were older than me in the program and were working on concrete projects. So basically, one day, like every day, I was sitting in my office reading some papers, trying to find the inspiration. I received a call from Bernd, and Bernd is a friend of mine. He's a businessman, about 60 years old. But especially Bernd drives two luxury cars, a Porsche 911 and a Bentley Continental. So basically we talked a little bit, and then Bernd told me, yeah, by the way, I bought a new car, a Tesla Model S 300D, which is really amazing. To be honest, at this time I felt something strange happening because, first of all, I know Bernd and how he behaves. He's the traditional luxury consumer who cares about his image, his social values, his prestige. And second, Bernd loves Porsche and Bentley. And what he has done with this Tesla, it's somehow trading down in consumption, because to be honest, Tesla have not the same brand value and brand strength as Porsche and Bentley. So basically, I was interested in finding out the motivations behind his decision and asked him, why have you bought this car? Basically, Bernd said three things. First of all, inconspicuousness, which is for me something, strange, because from the luxury literature, I know that the luxury consumption is related with social aspects, social values, prestige, recognition that are correlated with conspicuousness. But he said the antony. And he added, yeah, with these two cars, with the Porsche and the Bentley, I feel somehow uncomfortable when driving in the city because I feel everybody stares at me and it's somehow disturbing. With this new car, I don't have these feelings. The second thing was the design and the feature. He said, the car has a really good design. The interior is really nice. You have this high-tech touchscreen. You have a good design. You have a storage place in the front and in the back. It's really amazing. The third argument was the acceleration. He was fascinated by the acceleration of that car from 0 to 100 in 2.7 seconds, which is for him really amazing. But he didn't mention ecology. It's the main idea behind the production of such cars, electric vehicles, environmental friendliness. Even Elon Musk said, we want better world with better conditions. We want to redefine the luxury market. His strategy seems to some extent be successful because we see every day people switching from their luxury car manufacturer to Tesla. But I think that there is a gap between the firm philosophy and strategy and the consumer motivations. It's somehow a rotated overlapping. So at this moment, to be honest, I saw my first paper coming. Thank you, Bernd. So I then started to read again about the luxury literature, consumer behavior, decision-making models, and motivations, factors influencing the purchase of luxury goods. And then I went slowly into the direction to disruptive innovations, because it's the most important task that faces every firm at least once in life. And the output is decisive. It's binary. Either you succeed, and that means higher market share, or you lose, and that means you're dead. Best case, like Dell or IBM, you need to change your focus, your industry. And the whole thing in relationship to ecology. To be concrete, does ecology have the potential to drive disruptive innovations in the luxury market? Yes or no? And if yes, which are the characteristics of such innovations? Because we have only literature of disruptive innovation in the mass market, but not in luxury. So basically, from the luxury literature, I could find out three consumption epochs, which are the old luxury, only for the king. His family has the main goal to differentiate the king from the rest. Even statespeople and senators were not able to consume luxury goods. There are many examples in the literature coming from old Egypt, Roman Empire, old Greece. So basically, the consumption at these times were really strongly related with aspects such as extravagance and a wasteful aspect. Then with the industrialization, we have more and more firms who are focusing on luxury industry, but also more and more consumers are somehow or have the financial means to acquire such goods, to consume luxury goods. And in this period, the most important motivations to consume luxury goods were psychological, social, and functional aspects. So, for instance, the relationship price-quality was a good indicator for luxury goods, but also prestige, recognition, status were also among the key motivations. Then the last 5 to 6 years, we saw a new trend, the wish for environmentally friendly goods, which is driven by the LOHAS, lifestyle of health and sustainability. But also we see that more and more traditional luxury consumers are getting aware about environmental issues and trying to adapt their behavior. From a third perspective, we see that luxury startups are trying to somehow combine ecology, creativity, and high-tech in some cases to generate competitive advantages. So for me, this part was the most important part because it is trendy and still not investigated. That's why I analyzed the luxury literature in relationship to ecology to see how they correlate. So basically I found two directions, two ways, the pro and the contrast, where the pro are dominating the luxury research. Their argumentation based on LOHAS, as I said, conspicuousness of traditional luxury consumers, but also when comparing the luxury values with the fundamentals of ecology, we find many intersections. For example, the luxury ecology principle says we should fairly treat rare resources in the whole value chain, which means higher costs implies higher prices, but also good quality, which could intersect with luxury values. But also from rare resources, we cannot produce a match. The production will be limited, which is rare, which converts to luxury values. From the contra perspective, their argumentation is based on a comparison to the fast-moving consumer goods, to the mass market, and they see that ecology is decisive in mass market, but not in luxury due to many aspects such as buying frequency, the risk difference between the two markets, but there is little research on this in the luxury literature. So basically the next step was then to module the disruptive innovation and try to make the transition from the luxury market from the mass market to the luxury market to see if there is transferability and where are the differences between the two markets. Basically, I found out, I think everybody knows what disruptive innovation is and the course. That's why I'm only going to speak about the luxury market, where I found mainly 5 different points. In the luxury market, we see that from the beginning we have a product with high quality and high prices. For instance, Tesla Model SP100D, like for 150,000 euros, is not cheaper than a Maserati or an Aston Martin. It's maybe more expensive. The quality in some points, Tesla is better than them. I will go to another example, Elvis and Cressy and Louis Vuitton. There are many contradictions, but at some points, the quality of Elvis and Cressy bags are not worse than Louis Vuitton. The next point I think the most important point is that in the mass market, the new product is ignored from market leaders. In the luxury market, we don't have this. In the luxury market, we see an immediate reaction of luxury established firms. So, for example, many firms have announced or pronounced coming products that care about ecology, but also many other firms have started with the production, like Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari. The point, customer, in mass market we don't know who are our customers. In the luxury market we know at least that we have LOHAS and some traditional luxury consumers who are getting conscious, and that makes them to a good group, to a representative, a significant group. For the strategy, we saw, I have said that we have ecology, high tech, and creativity as a combination. Substitution in the mass market, we don't have it, I think because the immediate reaction of luxury firms, but also due to high loyalty level in the luxury market compared to the mass market. So basically, to summarize at this point, we have seen that ecology has the potential to drive disruptive innovations in the luxury market. And we have seen the difference, the course of disruptive innovations in the luxury market compared to the mass market. But we also said we know a bit about our customers. Lohas, some traditional consumers, but I think it's not sufficient for industrials because they need concrete information. So that's why we have conducted an empirical study among German luxury consumers, and with luxury consumers, with regular luxury consumers, with high income, and then we asked for demographics, education, age, wage, but also the budget plan for the next car purchase. So basically, we have only people that were planning to buy a luxury car in the next 7 to 9 months. So the data is somehow representative. We had some hypotheses. I will summarize them. We thought a bit generally, logic, and simply. So basically, we said young people. I'm not talking about millennials. I mean young people are rough, unexperienced, and therefore they think the fundamentals of luxury, which are status, recognition, reference group, and prestige. These extrinsically driven motivations push them to plan higher budget for their next car purchase. On the other side, we have luxury established, traditional luxury consumers, older luxury consumers who have the experience, who have reached a certain status, a certain maturation and saturation level, and they are supposed to be more conscious and therefore more environmentally friendly than young people. Then we have the gender hypothesis, but the most important hypothesis is H2A. Despite their opposing motivations, that young people are materialistic, old people are environment friendly, both are interested in buying the same luxury car, electric vehicle. So here is an overview about our data set. Here's a density plot of the factor budget category in relation to age. We see that we have people with more than 150,000 euros for their next car purchase. We have people they dedicate a budget between 101 and 130,000 euros. So they are really luxury consumers. We got some people who have lower than 25,000, but we saw that they have 4 and 5 luxury cars at home. So they're multi-car household. They are luxury consumers, but they plan lower budget for the next car purchase. Most important is that we see that the distribution of the budget categories have their maximum in the age between 25 and 35, which are in the luxury segment. These are the young consumers. And then we plotted the number of cars in household to see if it has a mediator role. So basically, we see here that we have people with 5 cars, with 4 cars, with 3 cars. We have less people with 1 car, but then dedicated generally higher budgets. And we see that the maximum, the number of cars lies in the age between 25 and 35 too, which shows that these young people are following somehow a collective strategy. They collect stuff, luxury stuff. They want to show what they have. It's about showing off what they have. Then we plotted both conspicuousness and conspicuousness and environmental friendliness, because we measured also conspicuousness, materialism, and environmental friendliness using 2 scales. We see here that the correlation, it's a positive correlation between conspicuousness and factor budget, which means that the more people are conspicuous, the more they are, or the higher the budget they dedicate for their next car purchase. For environment friendliness, it's a little bit stable, but it goes down with higher budgets. Therefore, we have done a regression analysis. It's a little bit bad to see. I'm going to focus on this table. We plotted conspicuousness in function of age, weight, gender, budget, cars in household, education level. And we see that we have here age is negative and highly significant, which means that older people are significantly less conspicuous than young people. We see here the gender is negative and significant. Women are less conspicuous than men. The budget dedicated for the next car purchase is positive and highly significant, which means that conspicuousness positively correlate with the budget dedicated for the next car purchase. Similar results are when plotting environmental friendliness in function of demographics, we see more or less the same results. So basically, more or less, our hypotheses are confirmed, and the most important hypothesis should be investigated here, where we have done a binary energetic regression for people, 0 if they are not willing to buy the luxury electric vehicles, and 1 if they are interested in buying it. And we have run it among the data set. We see here that both environmentally friendly people and status-oriented people, despite their opposing motivations, they have positive, highly significant coefficients. Both people, both groups, despite their opposing motivations, they are interested in the same luxury car. With a little remark that I said here that the intensity, the coefficient for environmentally friendly people is a bit higher than the materialistic people, which is due to the intrinsically driven motivations. Environmentally friendly people are intrinsically driven. They believe in environmental friendliness, therefore they are somehow more willing to buy these luxury electric vehicles compared to young people who are materialistic and they try to show off. They try to show that they belong to the luxury consumers. To summarize, target customers for luxury car industry or luxury electric vehicles. We have here said that we have the new entrants. They are young consumers who are rough, unexperienced. They seek the fundamentals of luxury, which are prestige, status, recognition. Therefore, glittery products, but also trendy products such as luxury electric vehicles, such as Tesla. It's a good way to obtain this status, because not everybody has this Tesla. It's somehow rare, exclusive, and therefore it's easy to identify themselves with luxury consumers. At a certain point, they reach the maturation level where they start to consume their preferred brands. So basically they say, cars, I like Porsche, I'm only driving Porsche. I like bags, Louis Vuitton, I like Rolex. So basically their decisions, their consumption is consistent with their beliefs. They are less influenceable, and their decisions are more consistent. Then after a while, they reach a saturation level where they belong to the experienced consumers. At this level, we expect that they will be more conscious, more aware about environmental issues, and they are interested, attracted by luxury electric vehicles. But we should care about that we have other luxury values should be included. They are not willing to accept luxury electric vehicles that have lower quality than other goods. That's why it's an important point. If we introduce sustainability or ecology in luxury, the quality should be at least at the same level, if not better. But the most important thing for me is we should not forget Bernd & Co. Because Bernd is that traditional luxury consumer who cares about his prestige, his image. He doesn't pay attention to ecology. He doesn't care about it, even though he bought the Tesla, because he thinks that all luxury consumers are driving Lamborghinis, Porsches, Mercedes, and I don't want to identify myself with these people, and that's why Tesla might be, or luxury electric vehicles, because they are trendy, might be a good escape way for them to conserve, to save their privilege, to differentiate themselves from other luxury consumers here. To summarize, I think I'm good in time. Good. We have seen that new tastes and beliefs are reinforcing the idea of ecology in the luxury market, but also luxury startups are trying to combine ecology, creativity, and high-tech in many industries in order to generate competitive advantage and to somehow drive disruptive innovations. The substitution in the luxury market is not yet confirmed, and I think it is because of the high loyalty level in the luxury market, where many people, they bought Tesla, but they are more likely to come back to Porsche or to Ferrari or to Lamborghini. But also to the immediate reaction of luxury car manufacturers. For instance, Porsche has started with the production of electric vehicles, the Mission E, Lamborghini too, but other luxury consumers have announced common products. Then we have target customer is for industrial. It's really an important point that they have two main groups. The new entrants, which are young, rough, inexperienced. But we have the traditional consumers who are like somehow divided into subgroups, with the conscious, people who are really conscious about environment issues, but also Burn and Co, who seeks differentiation and privilege. That's all.